Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got big news and big polls to get to here today. Breaking: Kamala Harris campaign is bracing for potential losses in Michigan and North Carolina, according to NBC. And my goodness, you want to talk about the implications of that, especially the Rust Belt with Michigan, a state that most of us assume to be the most liberal out of the three meaning Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. You'd be thinking, if she's really worried about Michigan, I mean, remember the report we got from the Senate office from the DNC? They were saying she's underwater in Michigan and the Senate race is not looking good there either. This is really, really bad for Harris when you talk about if she loses Michigan by 2.5, 3 points, like we've seen with some of the recent polling. You're talking about pretty much a guaranteed loss in Pennsylvania. You're talking about a probable loss in Wisconsin, and then also North Carolina, which is a state they really are relying on because of the electorate change, where Democrats don't have a chance at Ohio or Florida. You've got to go and you've got to try and take a state like North Carolina, especially if you're going to lose Arizona, which a lot of the polls have suggested. Nevada is basically 50-50 at this point. But if these are the states, see, I could see Harris saying, all right, with all the stuff going on in Pennsylvania, we're not looking too good there. But I think that all of their eggs are in the Pennsylvania basket at this point. Maybe it's a Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. I mean, I just don't know her path. It's very... If you're talking about Michigan and North Carolina being almost out of reach, you're talking about Arizona being totally gone. You've got to try and win Georgia. You've got to win a Wisconsin. You've got to win a Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania's even trending further away than Michigan is, according to the polls, and with everything that's going on there. So this is the big news here. Michigan and North Carolina, possibly big problem areas for Kamala Harris. And if you got problems in North Carolina, you're going to have problems in Georgia. The early voting looks good. I will say with the early voting, it is just a snapshot. It's going to change day by day. We're going to get much more accurate early voting numbers. Obviously, the few days before the election, when almost all of it is tallied and almost all of it is in. Because right now, Republicans could be plus 10, but if, tomorrow there's a lot of Democrat votes that come in, then they might take the lead. And you'd say you're celebrating for nothing, but still, it is good for enthusiasm, the support that Trump has gotten. But Harris, not good news there. We've also got the firewall. It looks like the firewall has malfunctioned. Oh, the firewall has been hacked. If I hear about the firewall one more time. Mark Cuban says he would be willing to work with the Trump administration if asked. I'm America first. Well, isn't it that kind of an oxymoron, Mark? You're a Democrat, but you're America first. If you're America first, you would be supporting Trump. I mean, but it's total gaslighting. It's the same thing when they say, now they're saying Democrats are more patriotic than Republicans. It's the gaslighting that, oh no, we're America first, right? You just believe in a bunch of policies that benefit other countries and foreign nations, like giving up foreign money. And it's like all this white guilt we have to give to other people. But no, we can't actually take anything or put our own citizens first. We've got to give to other countries. That's the Democratic Party. That's their viewpoint. And then you support that and then you say you're America first. It makes no sense. I'm sorry. But we've also got this. It's coming. It will be glorious. Yes, it looks like it's inevitable. Trump is inevitable, even when it comes to the popular vote. You can see the slow trudge up for Trump in terms of the odds for the popular vote. Looks like it's right around 37, 38% right now. Kamala's at around 62. She was around 75% to win the popular vote about a month ago. So it's been it's been cut significantly by about 12, 13 points in terms of the percentage. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if Donald Trump at least gets to around 45. We are getting more of these morning compost polls that are kind of mucking it up. So maybe it'll keep it around 60 but for Harris. But some of the polls that I think we're going to get updated, like the Marist, that's going to change the aggregate, and it's going to help Trump and probably push him up even higher in terms of popular vote chances, maybe around 45. Maybe on election night, the final thing, it's like 50-50 in terms of the popular vote. If that's the case, I mean, you're talking about a very easy electoral college win, and definitely Trump being a heavy favorite in terms of the electoral college. If the popular vote betting is around 50-50, there's no doubt about that. You've got a final poll from AJC, which is a good pollster out of Georgia. Trump sitting +4. Georgia's looking out of reach. If you're talking about Harris being worried about Michigan, North Carolina, couple that with Georgia looking really good for Trump, couple that with Arizona being out of reach, that's the election. The election's over. The election is over if that happens. And insider advantage was great in 2020. They've got Trump sitting +3 in Arizona. Seems realistic. I've said 3.5 for Trump in Arizona. And if that's the case, maybe Kari Lake can eke it out. But Kari Lake might need Trump to win by about 4.5, honestly, if we're being real. But either way, the states we're watching, it's Arizona, it's Georgia, it's North Carolina, now Michigan, but even Pennsylvania. I mean, it's every single swing state, guys. It seriously is every single swing state. Trump looks amazing at this point. There's really nothing left to say. And as you can see, this was last night. Let's get the update on this. Trump is sitting still plus, I mean, Jesus, 63 to 36. It's such a lopsided lead, man. It really is. And it's really every state. I mean, Michigan now is almost 60-40. Pennsylvania is 62-38. So Pennsylvania crossed the 60% mark. Georgia's at 70. Maybe that is early voting, the reaction there, because that's a move. North Carolina 69. Arizona 74. Nevada 63. Nevada has moved like crazy, I feel like. Am I wrong on saying Nevada has moved? Let's see, where's the graph? Yeah, well, this is glitched, but wow, look at that. Holy, I mean, it was 50-50. It was 50-50 3 days ago, and now Trump's up 15. I mean, Trump is moving everywhere in these betting markets. Arizona it's done. Arizona's done. I mean, you don't want to jinx anything. People need to vote and everything like that. But these, I mean, the more times I update this, the more positive. I mean, you would figure one day it would be bad for Trump, but it keeps moving in a good direction, and it's every single state. It really is every single state. It's crazy. So at this point, Trump is sitting very positively. I mean, at the Arizona, 75-25. Georgia up to 70, North Carolina basically 70, Pennsylvania crossing the 60 mark, Michigan almost 60-40, Wisconsin almost 60-40. Yeah, I wonder if any of the liberal states have moved. Probably not. 88-12 still, 84-16. Yeah, Virginia would be the next one, New Mexico maybe. I mean, there was a good poll out of New Mexico, but it was a Republican internal, which you could argue is more accurate, but they leaked that one, I think, on purpose because they want people in New Mexico to vote and act, like New Mexico maybe has a chance to flip. I'm not saying it's going to flip, but it might be within 4 or 5 points there. But the more you look at this, I mean, it's the Harris campaign is really, I mean, maybe there was some movement with that report of Harris, the NBC report of Harris, the Harris campaign being worried about Michigan. Now Michigan is, I mean, look at this change, though. You'll see. I mean, a month ago, this was a 30-point Democrat lead. It was a 30-point Democrat lead, and now it's a 20-point Republican lead. It is crazy, man. It seriously is. And we saw that, the recent boom there for Trump. That's something they're worried about. And then also North Carolina. It got a little bit close, but now it's a clear Trump lead by about wow. Almost a 40-point lead for Trump there. In terms of the betting, this is not an actual, obviously, this is just betting poll, but still a 70% chance to win. It is pretty remarkable. So, guys, that is the current situation. Good pull out of Arizona. Good pull out of Georgia. All of the news coming out of Michigan and North Carolina from the Harris campaign. They are nervous that they're possibly going to lose those states, and that's an absolute death blow for their campaign if that ends up happening. And then just to illustrate this, let's just give Trump Michigan and North Carolina very narrowly. He's at 250 now. I mean, we know he's taking Arizona. Well, we don't know that, but it's looking very likely he's taking Arizona. Now you're at 261. Now you only need one more state. And we know what's going on in Georgia. You win Georgia, that's the election, 277. And you still have Pennsylvania, Nevada, Wisconsin. And Trump leads in all those states. He leads in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania by a lot, but it would be something like that. And then in a worst case, she would take these two. But even in that case, you've got Trump at 296 with Harris taking Wisconsin and Nevada, which I don't think is going to happen because I think Trump would take all of these and then maybe she takes Nevada, but probably not even Nevada. And then you start looking at a Virginia, you start looking at a Minnesota, you start looking at a New Mexico. Obviously, it's unlikely, but that would be the ultimate blowout. You take a look at a New Hampshire. You say Maine at large, and then you get to that. But I mean, I don't think this is gonna happen. But maybe the Nebraska second. No, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Maybe a New York. But either way, guys, that is gonna do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.